Welcome back to Epic Film Sleuth. This time, we bring you one of the most twisted and entangled heist movies of all time called The Den of Thieves 2. Pantera, which came out in 2024. This action movie involves an angry law enforcer who pursues his old-time nemesis and his new gang by becoming a part of their gang and helping them rob a vault full of diamonds. If you're curious about what happens next, quickly subscribe to our channel for more recaps and press continue. Now let's get started. The film begins at a Belgian airport where we see a shipment plane landing. At a hotel nearby the airport, a foxy air hostess is seen setting up her communication devices and a telescope. She contacts her men, who are currently hiding in a container with their police cars. One of them is Donnie, the antagonist from the previous part. Upon the woman's signal, Donnie and his boy drive the police car near the plane and have every person near the plane as their hostage. They break open a locker inside the plane and claim a package, which happens to be a rare red diamond. The woman alerts Donnie when actual police arrive, so they successfully make it back to the container and flee. On the other hand, we see our protagonist, Nick, struggling in the Los Angeles courthouse bathroom due to his unresolved anger issues. While hanging out in a bar, Nick finds out about the heist being reported on the news and figures Donnie is behind it. Scenes then spin to France, where Donnie unites with his team. The woman is Giovanna, and they're all members of the Panther Mafia. Giovanna proposes a new heist idea, which requires Donnie to work as an insider at the WDC World Diamond Center to thoroughly assess things before stealing some more diamonds. At night, Nick interrogates one of Donnie's associates named Holly from the previous film and finds out he's in France, where Giovanna introduces Donnie to Chava, a recruiter in the WDC. Donnie shows her his recently stolen diamond and demands his separate office to operate his business privately. She finds him ballsy and agrees to have him aboard. When she takes him to the office building, he observes the professional security guards all around the building along with surveillance cameras. Inside, Chava takes him to Oliver, who supervises the main vault. After familiarizing himself, Oliver agrees to hire him and give him a separate office, but doesn't give him access to the vault yet. Elsewhere, an old man named the Octopus finds out from his men about his red diamond stolen by a man who's trying to sell it in the WDC. He asks his men to track the man down right away. Chava takes Donnie to a jeweler to get the diamond tested for its authenticity. The jeweler finds a tracking chip inside it. Chava becomes suspicious at first, but Donnie immediately covers up the situation by saying he put it there himself for safety reasons. Later, he joins the Panther Mafia, where Giovanna strategizes their heist's next move. Subsequently, Nick arrives at the France airport. Donnie is seen figuring out their escape route, which is dangerous. On the other hand, Nick arrives at the France police station, where he reveals he's an enforcer and uses their surveillance to track down Donnie. In the meantime, Donnie and his Panthers are in a bar, where Giovanna is tasked with hacking a man's phone. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, make sure you subscribe and press notifications so you don't miss future content from me. When Donnie returns home that night, Nick has already invited himself to his place and is chilling out. According to a new approach, Nick claims that he's tired of being the good guy and now wants to pull heists by his side. Donnie is very gullible, so he immediately gets trapped and spills his entire plan and even mentions the Panthers, whom Nick wishes to meet. The next morning, the Octopus's thugs arrive in France. Donnie arranges a meeting between Nick and Giovanna. When she asks him about his work experience, he lies about being a prison guard who befriended Donnie when he was serving time in prison. She gets convinced and lets him in their gang. Meanwhile, Donnie visits Chava again and persuades her to give him a locker of his own in the vault, as more of his diamonds will be arriving shortly. She agrees on the term of splitting the money on a monthly basis. Meanwhile, the Octopus's men have located Donnie and are keeping an eye on him through surveillance footage. The following evening, Nick attends an event where he meets the entire Panther gang. To gain their trust, he puffs hashish, a powerful substance, and consumes multiple alcohol shots at the same time. In a euphoric state, he feels attracted towards Giovanna and tries to get closer to her while dancing. One of the Panthers, Marco, is her partner, who gets triggered at the sight of them dancing so close to one another. He tries to push Nick away, but it turns into a fight. Giovanna immediately disperses their fight. Donnie takes Nick out of there and walks him back to his place. Suddenly, Octopus's men pull up in their cars and kidnap them. When the men take off the bags from over their heads, Nick and Donnie find themselves on a boat in the middle of the sea. They ask Donnie to return the diamond if he wants them to spare him. Before negotiation, they throw the boys off their yacht and leave anyway. Nick and Donmi start shifting the blame on one another, but Nick mocks him, saying that they wouldn't be in this situation if he hadn't stolen the diamond. Now they swim all the way to the shore, where Nick decides to ditch Donnie and leave. Nick visits the church, after which he keeps an eye on the security guards outside the WDC. Donnie calls him and discusses how strict the WBC security is, to which Nick agrees. Donnie still trusts Nick and calls him at his place. There, all the Panthers have arrived except Marco, who refuses to show up in Nick's presence. The boys plan to make their way inside the building through the roof because it happens to be the only spot where there are no guards or cameras. Donnie further shows them the blueprint of the building and begins telling what he's observed so far. According to him, there are 127 cameras in the building, but the building has only 10 monitors. Hence, every 10 cameras get a 10-second window on the monitor, while the remaining 117 remain dark and allow them to make their moves by synchronizing them with time. The next day, Donnie introduces Nick as his head of security to Oliver and lets him know Nick will be dealing with his work related to his locker in the vault. They unite once again to plan the next phase of their heist. They make all the equipment necessary for their heist. Giovanna puts a coat on Nick, which has sensors and hidden cameras installed in it, through which they will monitor everything. Giovanna gets along well with Nick and hopes that he doesn't betray them in the end. Nick assures her he won't make such a move and shows up at WBC wearing her spy coat. Along with Donnie, he gets through the security. Oliver and Chava give him a tour of the vault, which the Panthers closely observe through the hidden cameras in the coat, and find out there's a sensor in the vault. Nick spots Chava's locker flowing with pouches of diamonds, which the Panthers are after. Elsewhere, Marco is seen rounding up boys in Arsenal for a mission revolving around his personal interests. When alone, Nick visits the church. He returns to the Panthers, who demonstrate their newly invented spray, which disables any kind of sensors. Nick visits the vault again and pretends to use the spray as a breath spray. When Oliver and Chava are leaving the vault, he quickly sprays it on the sensor and disables it before leaving. Meanwhile, Donnie freshens up his car's paint and services its tires. By the end of the day, the two eat frozen gelato and bond over their mutual taste. The next day, they decide to make their move. When Oliver leaves the building, Giovanna alerts her boys, who gear up and arm themselves. Meanwhile, Marco and his men are seen on a rooftop, eyeing WDC. Oliver and Chava meet up in a bar to watch a football match. Meanwhile, the boys head towards the WDC parking lot. Donnie gets away at the checkpost by wearing a porcelain mask of Oliver's face. As Giovanna keeps them updated on the comms, they put on their masks and walk through the blind spots to get to the rooftop, which the surveillance guy doesn't detect. They hook a pipe to the main building, and everyone climbs that pipe to get to the main rooftop. The security, Oliver, and Chava are seen distracted by the match. Giovanna guides every move of theirs by telling which camera is activated and which is not. They make their way to the floor, where the vault is kept, through the elevator shaft. The corridor has a camera that is activated 24/7, so they use the Mission Impossible invisible shield to cloak themselves. This works out, and the guards see the corridor is clear. They finally make it to the vault. Nick uses his keys to open the main door, while the boys quietly disable the thermal detectors. They use a passcode cracker device to reset the passwords and open up the vault. When they successfully get to Chava's locker, they find all the diamonds gone. They end up looting cash from all the other lockers. Giovanna alerts them about Oliver's return, but Donnie keeps wasting time, looking for his red diamond. They find it at last and again walk through the blind spots to get to the elevator shaft and then the rooftop. Everyone gets to the second building, but when Nick's turn arrives, the pipe breaks in half and falls down in the alley. Nick remains trapped on the main roof and asks the boys to flee. When the security spots the pipe and comes to the rooftop to check, they find nothing and leave. Donnie and the boys make it to their car, in which they speed away. While Nick tries to find an exit, one of the guards spots him. He shoots the guard, who doesn't die because of his Kevlar vest. As the alarms are triggered, Nick finds a window from where he jumps and falls over a car. Donnie picks up Nick from there and drives away. The cops get their license plate and decide to come after them, but they make it to Giovanna's van, in which they load the looted stuff and take the sticker off the car, revealing a pitch black color. They succeed in deceiving the cops, but end up with Marco on their tail, who's gone against them because of Nick. He shoots at them and vice versa. They get on the dangerous route Donnie was seen figuring in the beginning. They shoot at the tires of one of the two Marco's cars, which falls off a cliff. Marco outsmarts them and crashes his car into theirs. He comes to shoot them too, but someone else shoots him instead. They turn out to be Octopus's men, still looking for the diamond. This time, Donnie hands them over the diamond, due to which they give him a new car to flee in and set fire to their old car to eliminate any proof as a token of their appreciation. Now, the Panthers unite with their boss over drinks and display everything they stole from the vault. Suddenly, the feds show up and arrest them all, including Nick. They take him the other direction and open his cuffs, revealing that he was still with the cops and was on a sting operation to turn in the entire Panther gang. The others are taken to a jail. A week later, Nick comes to visit Donnie, who refers to him as a traitor and a fake friend. He confesses that the friendship was as real as his job and asks him not to take it personally. That day, Donnie is transferred to another prison. On their way, 2 helicopters surround the security vans. Some men wearing military uniforms kidnap Donnie from there and bring him back to Octopus. He praises how well strategized Donnie's heists are, which he had been monitoring for some time now. As he offers Donnie to work for him, the film ends. I am sure you liked the story recap. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more amazing recaps like that.